Well, good morning. How are you guys? Welcome to another live here this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we sure appreciate, make sure I'm all hooked up here. And we want to say hello. Okay, let's see. Who comes up number one here on the hit parade this morning? Let me guess. Brahim. Janice. Kevin. Rosalinda. Kevin. Kevin, you came up number one on my hit parade. Andrea, I should have said Andrea too, because she's always at the top. Lorraine, how are you? Right at the top. Nativity. Right there. Janice. Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. In the top 10. You get on there early. Lucille, you too. Diane, how are you? I don't see Brahim though. Fran, how did you get near the top? Orangeville. Shirley from Tungate, Newfoundland. Hi, Cindy from rainy Saskatchewan. Yeah, us guys too. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Yvonne in Petawawa, good morning. Mary, hello. Dave and Helga. Douglas, Sandy, Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Carol in West Virginia. Hi, Denise. Eileen. Denise is from London. Eileen from Brampton. Roxanne, how are you? The Trinity is back and Brahim is in the clouds. Wendy from Markham. Rosa. Laurie, Cambridge. Maureen, Boca. I bet you it's hot. Frida. Marla from Oregon. Brahim, you were in the clouds, buddy. I don't know why. Have no idea. Karen. Rita, I only spell out what I see, guys. Hi, Claudette. Fran says her scroll is finally working. Yeah, I don't know. Lily from Cochrane. Dennis from Norwich. Darcy from Wisconsin. Well, hello, Wisconsin. Yeah, Kev, you were number one. Hi, Heather in Miramichi. Carol, Moncton, New Brunswick. Francis from Vaughan and Etta, New Brunswick. Patricia from Florida. Lori from Alberta. Guys from everywhere. Yvette Shediak. Sandy in Vancouver, Washington. Oh, we love you. Patricia, hi, how are you? Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Lorraine, Northern Michigan. A bluebird sky day. Grace, Newfoundland. Rosalinda, how did I miss you? And Carol from Wasaga Beach. Okay, must be nice. Rose from Brampton, good morning to you. Cheryl from West Virginia. How are you, Cheryl? IT, Unionville. Jen, good morning to you. I'm glad you could say hello, guys. Sometimes we get some new folks that I haven't. Leo, how are you? Christine. And let me see. Gertie. How are you, Gertie in Burlington? Jessica from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I've been there. Patricia. Saying hi to Kevin. Linda. Cheryl. And Kristen in Saskatchewan. Hi, Mary. Gander, Newfoundland. Elaine, St. John's, Newfoundland. We love Newfoundland. Sandra, how are you? And Sue from Bolton. Okay, let's get going. Yvonne, hey. Did I miss you, Yvonne? Gloria from New York and Melika. Okay, let me see here. I got a few things here that I want to talk about. Which one do I want to do first? Okay. Anyway, somebody asked me this yesterday. It was yesterday. No, it was on Monday and Friday, the Q&A. Dr. Martin, what do you like better? A mammogram or ultrasound? Okay. And I didn't answer the question. I saw it again today. And I realized, you know what? I didn't answer that. Well, look. Okay. I just got to give you facts, guys. Okay. Just the facts, ma'am. Okay. For those of you old enough to remember Dragnet. Just give me the facts, ma'am. Okay? And the facts are, mammograms, a lot of radiation compared to ultrasound. Okay? Now, just so happens, I read an article on in the last 35 years, here's the article. The last 35 years, 1.3 million women have been misdiagnosed with breast cancer. Okay? And let me elaborate a little bit on this because look, the cancer, and I call it the cancer industry, okay? Like it is, and I know there's good people, okay? So it's really important you understand where I'm coming from this morning, okay? The screening for cancer. The screening for cancer. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, skin cancer especially, okay? So those three cancers, prostate in men, breast cancer, women, and skin cancer. And the cancer industry, in my opinion, has been overzealous in the screening of cancer. Okay? Overzealous. Like, guys, you know me, where I come from. And I don't want to lead anybody astray here. Okay? Where I come from, I love prevention of cancer. And I'm not saying we shouldn't screen for cancer. I'm not saying that. What the research is showing is that we're over-screening, meaning that people are falling into categories of cancer when they don't have cancer at all. And it's happening because this article is going into the research, and they said in the last 35 years, I'm just talking breast cancer here. In the last 35 years, 1.3 million women have been misdiagnosed. If they're misdiagnosed, they're mistreated. Where do I have that? I don't have the book in front of me. I have the book in my place, but I'd have to leave the screen to go get it. I won't do it. I'll show it to you. Okay? A book I have in my library, but I was just underlying some things on prostate cancer, for example, in men. They're overzealous. And the idea is, if we can find it, so they put 14, this is men with prostate, their PSA is up. Well, the guy who invented the PSA test, the prostate test, okay? Looking for the antigen, he repented in sackcloth and ashes. He wrote a book about it, okay? Called The Great Prostate Scam. And what he said is, they're overusing it. If you got a high PSA, that doesn't mean you have cancer. So what they do, doctors in their head are trained, well, look, now you need a biopsy. Here's the problem. They stick 14 needles into the men's prostate to find cancer. Because in a doctor's mind, most doctors, not all doctors, they see, well, this screening is saving lives. Possibly. But you wonder how many men, how many women with the breast cancer have gotten biopsies and radical chemotherapy, radical mastectomies, radical prostate, whatever you call it, ectomies, take it out, the whole prostate. And I saw this hundreds of times in my office, guys. No, more than that. Men and women. And, you know, I had a few men say, well, I wish I'd have never had my prostate taken out. I'm wearing a diaper. My sex life is finished. And the doctor will say, yeah, but we saved your life. The research is not showing that. If you look at research honestly, and guys, you know me, I'm just bringing you the other side. You got a decision to make. Here's Susie Q. Okay, let's just follow her for a minute. I saw this so many times in my office, you have no idea. Here's Susie Q. She feels a little lump. She goes to her doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, well, let's get a mammogram on that. They get a mammogram. We see something there. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's, but there's a lump there. And now they do a biopsy. And you wait, with sweat coming down. Susie Q is very anxious. And results come, well, we found some cancer. Show up tomorrow at the oncologist's office. Now everything. Okay. I'm going to rant for a second, okay? Try and get to a doctor. Okay? Good luck. Try and get to your how many patients are people today even, call your doctor. Well, good luck unless you have cancer. And now, man, it's 100 miles an hour. They go in there, and Susie Q has been told, you know what? The biopsy, we found cancer. And now we're going to take out your lymph nodes because we got to see if the cancer is spread. I look at that differently, guys. I think you know me enough. I'm not trying to lead anyone astray. You got a decision to make. But the cancer industry is an industry. Oncologists are aggressive by nature. It's what they do. It's what they know. It's how they've been trained. You got immediately. And, here's Susie Q sitting in an office, and she's been told she's got cancer, and we better get going immediately. We better get going immediately. You know what, guys? The reason I'm bringing this up today is because now we've had a lot of years of looking at the cancer industry, and it ain't pretty, guys. It ain't pretty. The results aren't good. It's like cholesterol and heart disease. It ain't pretty. Because there's so much treatment, there's so much over-treatment. And guys, listen, this is an article. They're looking at research and they're saying 1.3 million women have been misdiagnosed. Did I say that? No, I didn't say that. They said it. They've said it. They've been misdiagnosed. Guys, when you have a little capsule, a small little polyp of cancer, like tiny, almost microscopic, in my opinion, it's one of the worst things you can do is biopsy it. Is there cancer cells in there? Yep. But they were contained. Your body's smart. Your body knows how to contain. Okay? And again, I'm giving information, and I admit I see things differently. I'm not in with the majority. I'm in a minority, and I know that. But I can't help myself when I read these articles. I read this book on the big prostate scam. I'll show you that book tomorrow. I have it. And I didn't write it. The guy who invented the PSA test wrote the book. And he called it the Great Prostate Scam. He says it's just hundreds of thousands of men have been overtreated for a test that was never, ever, ever meant to detect cancer. He said it was never meant for that. It was meant to detect inflammation of the prostate. And they used it. The cancer industry used it. And still today uses it for over-treatment, in my opinion, and his opinion too, on cancer. I'll give you another one. Okay, I'm going to give you another cancer because we talked about breast. They said 1.3 million people in the last 35 years, women, have been overdiagnosed and misdiagnosed, they said. Okay, I'm just going to give you, and underwent many of them mastectomies, chemo, and radiation. And they're saying they were misdiagnosed. The cancer was contained. There was no cancer spreading anywhere. And doctors justify it in their minds because they said, well, we found cancer, we got rid of it. Another one is melanoma. Okay? And here's another article. The incidence of melanoma has tripled. Why? Why is there so much more melanoma? Well, I'll give you two things. But one thing this article says, they overscreen. Right here in Sudbury, okay, there was a truck. Come and get your skin screened at the mall. We're going to look for, well, they're finding more melanoma. Now, I think there's a reason. There's two reasons. They're over screening. Secondly, sunscreen. Now, where have you heard that before? Here. I've said it for 40 years now on sunscreen. Okay? You put chemicals on your skin, like I was reading, 400, this is a study, 470,000 person study. Okay? It's a big study. And sunscreen, okay, this study says sunscreen is linked to a 292% increase in skin cancers. So, overscreening, and then they put you into the system, and sunscreens. So they're finally catching up to what I've been telling my audience for the last 30, 40 years. I've been in the media, guys, for a long time, even though I was in private practice for almost 50 years. I was in the media because I wrote books. And I had my own radio show. And I got interviewed thousands and thousands of times because I did, and I had radio shows and was a weekly or monthly guest in radio stations across Canada. And I did, I don't know, 1,000 interviews in radio and TV in the United States. You write books, you get a publicist, you get on TV. And on, now it's podcasts. Okay? But guys, I've been saying this about sunscreen for a long time. I said, people are scared skinny of the sun. They're scared skinny of it. Brought to you by Johnson & Johnson. That's what I used to say all the time. 35 years ago, I said that. This is brought to you by Johnson & Johnson. Why? They were the number one makers of sunscreen. And even today, if I go to the beach, now I won't go today. Okay? Not here, because it's rainy out. But you folks in Florida, go to the beach, you'll see a lot of people using sunscreen. As a matter of fact, the vast majority will. Because they've been taught, they've been ingrained, they've been bamboozled to put on sunscreen and then sit in the sun. Guys, the FDA, not moi, the FDA, or not only me, the FDA pulled hundreds and hundreds of sunscreens off the shelves because they said, okay, let me quote them, they contain carcinogenics. And guys, if you want to put something in your body, the fastest way is to swallow it. Second, and a close second, is put it on your skin. And then, even worse, add heat. Add heat to chemicals, and you don't get something good out of that. Well, I protected my skin. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You protected your skin. You blocked your skin from getting UVB, which is what you need. Plus, you put carcinogenics right on your skin. Guess what happens? They get right into your body, they do what fructose does. You know what fructose does? High fructose corn syrup, it goes directly to your liver. Why do you think I hate the sugar today so much? Direct route to your liver to give you fatty liver. Do you know what sunscreen does? You put it on. Oh, I'm protecting myself. No, you're not. You are sending that, especially when you add heat to it, directly to your liver. Yep. Toxic. It's toxic. And guys, I'm telling you, when you read a label and you can't pronounce the names, run, Forrest, run. Because that's what your people are doing. And I see it on beaches. I see them lathering up those little kitties. Now, I always put a little disclaimer here because a little asterisk. Why? Because I don't want you to burn in the sun either. Okay? I don't want that. Cover up. Cover up. But I'm telling you, 292% increase in skin cancers. The last 35 years, 1.3 million women have been misdiagnosed. And I'm not going to tell you how many other women have been not only misdiagnosed, but maybe diagnosed with a cancer, but it wasn't going anywhere, and now they've been not misdiagnosed, they have been overtreated. Overtreated. Now, I'll tell you, let's go back to Susie Q for a minute. Okay? Susie Q. She's in the oncologist's office, and the oncologist is sitting there with their arms crossed and going, here's what we're going to do. And we're starting tomorrow or next week at the latest. We got to get at this right now. And so can you imagine Susie Q? What's going through her head? I'm not a doctor. My doctor says the oncologist, he's a specialist, and I gotta have a chemo and radiation, and I gotta have a mastectomy, and men, I gotta have Joe Blow, not Susie Q. Joe Blow goes, gee, doc, you did the biopsies, and yeah, one of them came back and it's got cancer in it, cancer. And I guess the best thing to do is doc, what are you saying? Yeah, best thing to do, let's take it out. If you take it out, you're not going to get, prostate cancer is gone. How many women have had mastectomies? Radical. It's in the system. And you can hardly ask questions. I used to tell my patients, because they'd call me, I got diagnosed, like I had a mammogram. And what do you think, doc? And look, I can't tell you what to do. Bring a notepad. Try not to panic. And ask some tough questions. Can we just watch this cancer for a bit? See if we can keep it contained? So hard. It's so hard. Joe Public, what do you know? That's why I try and educate people. Well, be your own doctor. I'm not telling you to dismiss other doctors. I'm not. I'm just giving you, these are stats. These are stats. The incidence of melanoma, which is a dangerous cancer, but they're overdiagnosing it. And people, by the way, okay, just you guys know this, but I'm going to say it again. People who get melanoma are not people that have lived in the sun. It's the opposite. And that's them there, just the facts, ma'am. Again, the facts are people that get melanoma, usually melanoma is where the sun don't shine. That's where they find it. It's usually where the sun don't shine. Okay? And that's one. And two, people that don't get in the sun, I've been bringing that statistic to you for a number of years. People that don't get in the sun are the people that get melanoma. Inside workers and that, they're the ones that get melanoma. Not sunbathers. They don't get melanoma. Oh, Dr. Martin, I heard of someone, I remember a lady, she was mad at me on the radio. Because her husband got melanoma. And he was a farmer. He was outside all the time. I said, ma'am, there's always exceptions. I'm just giving you stats. I didn't make these stats up. Don't get mad at me. Your husband was an exception. There's always exceptions. I didn't tell your husband to go out and burn in the sun. I didn't tell him to do that. Right? Anyway. Okay. I'm going to show you that book tomorrow on the prostate. I just got it. Brand new. It's hot off the presses, guys. I just got it in. I just started reading it. And it made me angry. Upset. For all the men. Okay. Okay, we love you. I mean it. Sometimes I go on the little rants. But anyway, guys, okay? Don't take it the wrong way. I'm just giving information, okay? Okay, guys, we love you dearly, sincerely, in every other way. We love you because you're the greatest audience in the world, the smartest. You know what Friday is, huh? Q&A. Send your questions in. Friday morning. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, question and answer. I answered a question today. Still answering questions. I missed one the other day. I didn't mean to miss it. Somehow I was reviewing and I said, oh, I didn't answer that question. Okay, on mammograms versus ultrasound. Okay, love you. Talk to you soon.